How do you do, Storyteller here? As you guys recall, in the last video, I actually had to cut the video in half because it ended up running way over 2 hours. And that's way too long. So, here's the rest of that video. Enjoy. I keep hearing... The last time I heard, like, chains jingling. But before... Wait... What is that noise? Okay, great. Oh, this is...
Look, it's the golden knife. But how to get it? This lamp is not old. The oil is still fresh. Perhaps Sir Rodney passed by here.
No, I do not think so. Remember, he went no further than the catacombs underneath the Frigidarium. The murderer left this lamp. Watson, I need your help.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Where's Watson? Wait, there's 3 here. Where's Watson? What did he open? Ah, there. Okay, so can I open one on this side that opens that one? I think that's the one that... Oh, that's the one that I'm next to? Is Watson? Oh, it's the one that Watson's next to. So I can come through this one. And Sherlock's there. But what is that?
This mechanism seems inactive. Most likely the door it controls has already been opened.
So this one opens what? The one next to me. Well, how would I get over there? I'm guessing there's more this way. Well, what is this one open? Is that the one next? Where am I? Oh, is it? Oh, it's this one. That's the one next to me, isn't it? Oh, it's the one next to Sherlock. Okay. What does this go up to? Alright. Oh, I think I could have reached this one at that point. That middle one's open. Feels too easy. It's open now. Am I gonna get trapped in here?
The golden knife of Mithras. A long-lost relic has resurfaced. Watson, it is time to conclude this case.
Am I gonna get trapped in here? Oh, I called
Excellent.
it.
Now, we should find another way of getting out of here.
Oh, he called it too, apparently. Raider of the Teens. Very weird. Maybe up there. I'll look at that clue in a moment. The stairs this way. What do I have to do to get into it? That door's open now. Can Watson get to it? He cannot. Okay, so at least we know which door opens our way out of here now. Does that help Watson? That did not help Watson. I know that door all the way on the left opens the way out of here. Okay, that one did it. That one got... Oh wait, that was the... There we go. Okay. I'm in here now. Make sure this middle one doesn't open the one he needs to get into. Can't tell. Maybe. Oh, maybe. Yes! Yes, it does. And now I can open the exit for him, and hopefully he won't just shoot me. Because he hates my guts. And now he's free to get out. Or at least to go here.
This mechanism seems inactive. Most likely the door it controls has already been opened.
So if I let go of it... And now... Now it opens from this side. And I can go to Sherlock. Oh, who is now stuck in here? But there's one on the other side right here. What is this thing? Is that the one next to Sherlock? It is the one next to Sherlock. Alright. Now we can get the heck out of here. This one. There we go. On the other side of the door from Watson. Good thing it only needed 2 people. 2 cultists to get out of here. And now Sherlock is free.
Are we inside the hidden temple of Mithras, Holmes?
Yes. Wunderbar. Oh. That was easy. Wonder where it went up to. Sir Rodney's secret was an important discovery, the metaphorical bomb. He could use it as a powerful means of annihilating anyone who stood in his way. That he alone might take the fame and glory. What? Blinkhorn is a deserving specialist who's aware that he's about to be cast aside over a major discovery. He will lose his chance of a lifetime. So Blinkhorn... The first theory is that Blinkhorn killed Mr. R because he was afraid of all the credit of what he had been working on was about to be wrenched away from him because this guy was introduced and about to make a huge discovery. But if he was angry... Valuable secret, angry, interest. There we go. If Pinkhorn was angry because of the postponing, if Blinkhorn was interested in helping and working together to learn from him, stop takeover. Even if Pitkin is the owner of the bats, he will surely lose them, for this major discovery will change everything. It will turn the bats into a permanent excavation site to preserve the research. It will never achieve the commercial status Pitkin desires, and Pitkin... That would make Pitkin the murderer to stop Sir Rodney, from making the discovery so that the bats... Okay, so these are the two possible theories at this moment that are... Blinkhorn was jealous that Sir Rodney was taking over and taking credit for all the work he had been doing up until this point, and was jealous that he was about to make a discovery and steal all the credit. Or Pitkin is afraid that the bats he's worked so hard on to restore are about to be revealed to be a major excavation site, which people are going to want to excavate and he'll never be able to use for his commercial use, which seems like less of a method to me than jealousy over credit grabbing, but I'm not going to make any assumptions yet because I don't feel like I have all the information I could have. Plus, I don't know if it was made out of ice or silver. Silver knife. The murderer hid the weapon in the clouded steam room, then placed the knife in the brazier in order to destroy it, which resulted in the melted silver that we found. Silver knife. So I can say Pitkin killed Sir Rogers with a silver knife. Blinkhorn killed him with a silver knife. Pinkin killed him with the ice weapon, or Blinkhorn killed him with the ice weapon. I happen to think it was an ice weapon that was used that melted away and diluted the blood, not the steam that diluted the blood. I don't know what the silver object was. I don't know what was silver that was cut. That's why I don't have all the information yet. What was silver that was thrown into the fire? Pitkin, I don't think would have done it, but I don't necessarily believe that Blinkhorn would have done it. Motive: vengeance. Blinkhorn is a deserving specialist who's aware that he's about to be cast aside over a major discovery. He will lose his chance of a lifetime. I don't necessarily know if I believe either one. I mean, both are possible. Why did I come back here? Why am I here?
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
I feel like I'm missing something. What would have been, other than the knife, what could have possibly been silver that was thrown into the fire? I want to go back to the baths. Can I interrogate them? Wait, can I go back and interrogate them some more? Wait, before we go to the baths, can I interrogate them? No. Wait, can I ask them what would have been silver, or who knew about the ice? Can I ask these things? Am I ever gonna get out of this carriage? Because I feel like this is pretty important. Hello. I know, but the deductions. There you go. I wanna try to interrogate them again. I feel like I don't know everything. Mr. Blinkhorn, Mr. Pitkin, and then there's you, Mr. Garrow, who there's not even a theory about, which is weird.
Please escort this suspect for
Pitkin
interrogation.
first. Then I'll talk to Blinkhorn. I want to see if there's anything I've missed that I can talk about. Mithras.
The paintings in the baths are focused on Mithras, I understand.
Yes, they are what make this place remarkable.
And that is why Sir Rodney came here?
He believed that the golden knife, which is an ancient ritual item, was hidden somewhere around the baths. I admit that it would be wonderful if it were true.
And you are not concerned by the reputation of this artifact?
You mean the curse? Before someone is dead, it is a blessing. After they are dead, well, then it becomes a curse.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. What can you tell me about Mithras?
Oh, so much. It was the core of our work. Why do you ask?
Were you seeking the golden knife?
I see you are an amateur. Yes, the golden knife was our grail. It is said that it bears the only text explaining the ritual of the cult of Mithras.
I understand. I read something about immortality.
A myth. The knife would provide immortality only to the worthy one, and yet it is cursed, and it would kill you if you are not initiated.
Did you expect to find the golden knife at the baths?
Well, Sir Rodney thought that it might be there. Did you observe the knife representations there? They are so extraordinary, and we had hoped... It is a tragedy that he has passed away, taking all of his secrets with him. As soon as I've been released, I will continue Sir Rodney's researches in his memory.
It's interesting that you're so ready to get
Please
back to
escort
work
this suspect for
to finish
interrogation.
his research for him. Credit grabber. Potentially.
Perhaps you could explain the cult of Mithras to me.
No, there is nothing to say. We are not the worthy ones.
But Sir Rodney believed that he was.
He was wrong. I have visions. The golden knife, the mummy. Oh, it's all my fault.
Calm down, Mr. Garrow.
The mummy. The mummy. Garrow's drug, Garrow's behavior. Garrow's illness. Garrow is tortured by his obsessions with the Mithras curse. He has been driven insane, a condition worsened by the medication he is taking. Garrow's weakness. Garrow is melancholic. He is a victim of over-medication, hence the hallucinations and unpredictable behavior. His state has been worsened by the shock of Sir Rodney's death. Paranoia. Garrow's suffering was too great. After Sir Rodney's grand discovery, Garrow lived in fear of the Mistress Curse and so developed his heightened feelings of paranoia. The ice knife. It doesn't seem like a man suffering from mental illness would have the mental capacity to create something of this grandeur. But if I am to believe he used a silver knife, not the ice and salt method that's so complicated, he crafted a silver knife. Garrow, silver knife. He killed Sir Rodney in a fit of obsession due to his intense nervous state. To ease his suffering to perform a ritual killing, he used the silver reproduction of the golden knife. I don't think that's right. But I'm not done. I don't feel like
Do you have something else to ask me?
I don't know.
I'm trying to...
I'm not sure that I can be helpful at the moment.
I don't feel... You have found and utilized all clues in the case. Please proceed to the deduction space to form your conclusions. So I have all the clues. Silver knife or the ice knife. Handmade ice maker. The ice was handy. They had an ice maker downstairs. They had ice there. Nothing to indicate silver, but in the text it says part of the ritual was adding silver into the fire. So, based on that, I'm going to say that the only reason ice would be there is if ice were the murder weapon that was used, thrown into the ice bucket with the champagne as the weapon to kill him. So I believe the method was the ice knife. Silver is mentioned being thrown into the fire as part of the ritual, so someone was following the ritual when they stabbed him in the eye with the knife. I believe it was the ice knife, and that the silver was thrown into the fire as part of the ritual, like we read. But who killed him? Garrow's weakness. Garrow's. I can't think anything, so give me a second. I'm going to do a run through. I'm going to be very thorough. I'm going to return. Wait, can I speak to Lestrade? I can't, can I? Can I go down to the morgue? I want to look at the body again. So obviously the rope marks were from him rappelling down into the caves.
According to the coroner, there were no cardiac problems nor lung congestion, but there were traces of fungus, possibly contracted from the Egyptian tombs.
Or the tomb he was down in.
The coroner observed no stomach nor liver disease. An unusual wound, inflicted by a curved knife, which resulted in instant death, as the coroner's report says.
Some light bruising. The bruising is in lines.
Rope. I know, it's saying that we have all the clues. I want to review everything. That's why it keeps popping up like that, is it's saying I have all the clues. I don't trust it. Because I can't reach a conclusion this way. Let me look through all the information that I have. We have the morning telegram he sent at 7:30 this morning, where someone was able to get in while he was gone, or moved around while he was gone. I mean, I don't know why I'm not suspecting him. He was here, but whatever. Can I go back and ask him again? Can I question him? Can I go question him again? I don't necessarily entirely trust this guy. Should I? I don't think I should. I mean, no one is free from suspicion here. There's no reason I have to trust everyone in this case. I shouldn't completely trust the guy who was literally in the same building as all these people, including the murder victim, who was here, potentially. I mean, it says that he left to go send or receive a telegram to his sister, but why would I just believe him that it was about his sister?
These baths are becoming sinister.
Okay. Then we have the key to the sauna thing, why was it under the body? Unless they snuck back out into the clothing area room to grab the knife out of the ice bucket thing. Or if it was a silver knife out of somewhere. Melted silver. Melted silver turned out to be Britannia quality silver. So it was a modern silver knife, cast out of something. Could have... I mean... It's not very big. But why was it in the fire? Britannia quality silver. So... It doesn't necessarily mean it was a weapon. Sir Rodney's draft. Unopened bottle of champagne and an ice bucket was found. That leads me to believe, why else would the champagne be there? They didn't drink it. That it was used to conceal the ice thing, to keep the ice knife cold long enough for the steam to be turned on, the thing, like, it to fog up, them to get the knife and stab them. But they'd have to open the door. So they would have had to have had the key. So when the guy left, they could have grabbed the key, opened the door, went out. But wouldn't they have heard it? But then again, I don't know. Drug file. Garrow is using St. John's wort powder. Powder. Provokes strong psychological side effects if misused. St. John's wort powder. I mean, I use St. John's wort in my tea. I don't really think... I mean, it's possible that he's reacting to the medication, his paranoia, that out of a fear of... But hold on. Down in the catacombs, we found a broken lantern. Broken lantern of someone who had navigated down to the golden knife. This guy believes he's not worthy of the golden knife. He nor Sir Rogers were worthy of the golden knife. That's cursed, he believes. So why would someone like this, who believes he's unworthy of the golden knife, go down into the catacombs and try to get the golden knife? That doesn't make sense to me. To me, that does not compute. That he believing is... If he's paranoid, if he's genuinely paranoid, he wouldn't try to get the exact item that he believed cursed the man who died. He might stab him, but literally, we have evidence that the murderer was down in the catacombs with the broken lantern trying to get the golden knife, and that does not fit this profile of a man who's trying to stop someone from getting the golden knife. It doesn't make sense why he would try to get the golden knife if he was trying to stop someone from getting the golden knife because it was cursed and they were unworthy. So I don't think it's Garrow. That doesn't make sense, and if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. I hope. Pitkin's letter. Letter from Sir Gregory Pitkin. I'm going to go through all the letters after this. It's right here. I'm going to go through the letters. The ring. Ring has been poorly repaired. Why the ring? What is the ring? How does the ring fit into this? Poorly repaired. Why is the ring relevant? An old Roman coin covered in dirt. Weapon shape. We know what the weapon was. It was either ice or silver, but we know it was carved from that mold. Hand-drawn map along his belongings. I mean, that's... Metal plate, we found that. Mithric Mysteries, book about Mithric Mysteries and the cult of Mithras. Fresco of Vulcan. Depicting Vulcan and Cyclops at work in the forge. Why did I make note of that? Statue of Neptune. That we used for the other puzzle. Statue of Minerva. Ice maker. Handmade ice maker down beneath the Frigidarium. Mithras initiation. What I should have used to get through the tunnels, but I made it out on my own. A negative. Photograph negative on a glass plate of showing how to make the ice cream. The golden knife. A silver knife cast. Or an ice knife cast. I believe it was the ice knife, and I believe the silver was an object put into the fire as part of the ritual, as per the initiation of Mithras. The mold to create the knife of stabbing the bull as part of the legend. Someone was following the legend. Part of the initiation thing, the cult of Mithras, putting silver into the fire and stabbing someone through the eye. It's part of the cult thing. So someone was following the cult. Who killed Sir Rodney Bentley? Join Lestrade at the Strand Baths. Oh wait, no, that's the beginning. Never mind. I did all these things. Okay. Documents. I'm going to start at the beginning. Sir Rodney's draft. Dear friend, I wish to organize a press conference, blah blah blah, to focus upon English, blah blah blah. Okay. That was the thing that was calling them there. Sir Rodney. Sir Rodney wrote this. About Sir Rodney Bencliffe, blah blah blah, publicity. Bath reopening. The research efforts were halted when a savior arrived in the form of Sir Rodney Bencliffe. Sir Rodney has taken over. Hold a great big pleasure. Updates. So the baths for excavation. Reopening for excavation. Bencliffe's research. This metal plate, besides its archaeological interest, appears to be a part of something larger. At the present moment, I am unable to determine what it might be. Bencliffe's mummy. The great excavation of Os 1 has taken over 3 years. Sir Rodney Bencliffe directed the archaeological work. Oh, hang on. Sir Rodney Bencliffe. Never mind. Okay, I'm stupid. I got Bencliffe mixed up with the other guy's name. Sir Rodney Bencliffe directed the archaeological work. A mummy is found with an immaculated eye posed in an unusual position. The right hand is tensed as if reaching out to someone. The mummy was very upright. The desperate mummy. By the eye he was punished, for what he saw he was not good. Now this leads back to something interesting that I didn't remember about Garrow. The punishment for searching for that which he was not worthy was being stabbed through the eye. So it's not that he might have killed him to stop him from finding the gold and not finding the gold himself. But if Garrow believed he was worthy but Sir Rodney was not, he would have stabbed him through the eye because he was punished for what he saw he was not worthy. Rodney got down into the catacombs, and if Garrow knew that, Garrow could have punished Sir Rodney by stabbing him through the eye. But anyone else could have done that. I don't believe Pitkin would have used this method. Because Pitkin is the owner of the baths, blah blah blah. The other guy, the other archaeologist, I'm trying to remember his name. The other archaeologist is interested in this. He's the one who's like enthusiastic. I will continue his research about finding, have you not seen the murals about the golden knife, blah blah blah, all that. He believes the golden knife is here. The other archaeologist believes the knife is here, and I will continue his research for him. He could have deemed Sir Rodney to be unworthy, been jealous that he was trying to grab the credit, believed himself to be worthy, and stabbed him through the eye. So, eliminating Pitkin for just a moment, Garrow could have stabbed Sir Rodney through the eye because he was unworthy, possibly scared of the curse. But why would he be down in the catacombs? Unless he believed himself to be worthy, but he just said he didn't believe himself to be worthy. But the other archaeologist could be envious that Sir Rodney was taking over, doesn't seem him to be worthy, killed him so that he could take the golden knife and the credit. Two possible theories. Pitkin, I don't know why Pitkin would have killed Sir Rodney. He brought Sir Rodney in. It doesn't make sense that Pitkin, just to delay the opening of the baths, doesn't make sense because he could have been on to a more grand discovery here. There we go. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. Alright. So, here's my reasoning for thinking Pitkin is not the murderer. Pitkin is the owner. Pitkin brought Sir Rodney in to excavate the baths because he thought the other archaeologist was not doing a good job and threatened to cancel it or to kick the other archaeologists off if they didn't find anything. So, the only other possibility I could think of is that Pitkin wanted them to find the golden knife and then take it. And Pitkin is the one that was down in the catacombs trying to get the golden knife away. And he just wanted the archaeologists to find it. But to me that doesn't make sense because he brought them in. He was willing to cancel the project if they didn't find anything so they could open up the baths. So, in my opinion, his motivation is wanting the baths open for publicity and to earn money from people coming in, the revenue from people visiting. I think that's his motivation. I don't believe his motivation was to find the golden knife. I don't think he necessarily cares about the golden knife. He certainly doesn't care about the curse. He thinks it's stupid. So I believe it's either the other archaeologist or the guy whose name begins with G, whose name I'm terrible at. Let me just look really quick at my suspects. Garrow and Blinkhorn. That was his name. Garrow and Blinkhorn. So, Blinkhorn could have been jealous that Sir Rodney was brought in and about to take credit for his research and killed him to stop him and to get credit. Or Mr. Garrow could have been influenced possibly by his medication and his own paranoia about the curse, thinking that they're all unworthy, and killed Mr. Rodney through the eye, as the legend says, those who are not worthy get stabbed through the eye and die, killed him to stop him from taking the cursed golden knife. Those are my two leading suspects, for jealousy and credit grabbing, or paranoia and to stop him from bringing the curse to life. Corner, eye has been burst, pierced to the hilt. I missed that part. Pierced to the hilt. That is unfortunate. Followers of Mithras. Traditional deities to gain passage to Mithrin. I'm looking for the thing that mentioned silver. Sound of horse hooves, dark eye was upon would. Feeling that the dark eye was upon them, would melt their valuables in the fire. Didn't Garrow talk about silver coins that Mr. Sir Rodney had, that he was showing him coins? Roman families spared no expense melting silver or tin, if it was not recorded if such offerings were thrown away with ashes. But feeling that the dark eye was upon them would melt their valuables in the fire, spared no expense melting silver or tin. That's mentioned very deliberately. So it could be that Garrow... This is why the silver thing makes sense to me, because if it were the other archaeologists, I don't understand why he would have thrown something silver into the fire. But if it were Garrow, who was being paranoid, thought that Mr. Rodney had seen something he was unworthy to see, feeling that the dark eye was upon him, threw something valuable, something silver, maybe one of the silver coins that he said Sir Rodney had shown him. Perhaps he threw something valuable into the fire, as an offering if he felt that the eyes were upon him, then stabbed Sir Rodney through the eye, because he had seen something he had been unworthy to see. The knife used by Mithras. Give me 1 second. None of that. I'm looking for anything related. Dear Lord Blackmore, the manager of the baths, Sir Gregory Pitkin, was quite a nuisance at the start when I arrived. After you stepped in, he became rather more helpful. Occasionally, people of his rank could not suit it. I'm on the verge of discovering a major archaeological artifact. Could be used politically by your party. Bencliffe. Is this Bencliffe? No, that's Blinkhorn. Who's Bencliffe? I don't know. Bencliffe. Oh, Bencliffe. Well, Rodney Bencliffe. Okay, so Bencliffe said it could be used politically. Garrow. We're doing the baths. I follow the researches. I'm interested in archaeology. Interested in archaeology could mean that he is a cultist follower, like interested, but he knows he's unworthy, believes they were unworthy, so wanted to stop them. I'm trying to think. Beg your pardon, Garrow. Many things happen we need to know, or perhaps it is better hidden. Thinking Sherlock Holmes is also possibly unworthy. Working with a genius, the world is hard, people want to steal from you. There are always people who want to steal from you. That's strange. He trusted me, but oh. Hold on, and he trusted me, but does that mean Sir Rodney told Mr. Garrow about his discovery, and Garrow, learning what he had found, went off the deep end, realizing he was unworthy and had to stop him? I'm sorry. His eye. I remember. I feel so sorry. He wasn't feeling well. Saw the knife, you know. I saw the knife, you know, flying through the air. Nobody else mentioned a knife. Nobody else mentioned a murder weapon. He says, I saw the knife, you know, flying through the air. I saw the blood. I tried to escape. I don't remember. So he's the only one who acknowledges the existence of a knife. Nobody else knew what the murder weapon was, not even the police. But Garrow says he saw a knife. Now the question is, was the knife made of silver or of ice? Or did he have the capacity to create an ice knife using the method that was so complex? Was he able to do that, or was the knife made of silver and then he threw the silver into the fire not only to get rid of it, but as an offering? Or did he throw the coins into the silver as an offering, stabbed him with the ice knife? Does he have the capacity to make the ice knife? The knife was shining like gold. The knife was shining like gold. That would indicate that the knife, unless he's hallucinating and saw the golden knife, he could be just hallucinating right now and he's not the murderer. What? No, his ring, it should be destroyed. It's a cursed ring, digging dark secrets. It's after me, I know it. I shouldn't have worked on it in the workshop, it's too late now. Been secretive, saw him leave. When he returned it was very late. He showed me some wet coins, Roman coins, and he started to laugh. We are not the worthy ones. He was wrong. So Rodney did believe he was worthy. I have visions, the golden knife, the mummy. What mummy? It's all my fault. That sounds like Mr. Garrow could be very guilty, and he semi-remembers the incident. But let's hear about Blinkhorn, Percival. Percival Blinkhorn, archaeologist specializing in the Roman period, working on several excavation sites, including the paths at Strand Lane. And to list any items of value before their eventual restoration and exhibition. Thanks to Sir Rodney. That sounds a little bit salty. Salt. I could not say that he was a kind man, but he was talented. I feel great admiration for him, I must say. I'd met Sir Rodney briefly once in Egypt and shared my researches with him. Surprisingly, my work did convince him to come here. He arrived only a couple of months ago. He's a cold man, so secretive, but I learned much from him. I can't believe he's there. That almost sounds admiring. How well were your researches going before Sir Rodney's arrival? Rather well. But this letter reveals that Sir Gregory was prepared to put a stop to your work. But since Sir Rodney's arrival, he had calmed down. He allowed us to work. Us to work. I'm not sure what they agreed on. I haven't thought about that, but if it is needed, I will fight to defend Sir Rodney's expectations. Sir Rodney's expectation. This sounds like he admired the man. Sounds like he was willing to work with him to accomplish what they were intending. Sorry if I'm taking so long. I'm trying to be decisive because I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to accuse the wrong person. I didn't see anything much further than that. Heard him shouting. We ran for the door and bumped into each other as a long day's point. The door was stuck. Be able to see Garrow. I was barely able to see my own feet, and Garrow was covered in blood. Garrow couldn't harm a fly. It is weird that Garrow was covered in blood. Recent event. Yesterday we saw a small argument. He has his own particular ideas of archaeology. If he kept the ring, he could have also thought that he would keep the golden dagger. He has his own particular ideas of archaeology. He's a treasure hunter, obviously. He always looks so sad, but acting strangely, compares about voices and visions. Discovered melted silver. No, Sylvia said, I don't know how it got there. Did you place a bottle of champagne? No. Mithras. The golden knife was our grail. Our grail. It was our grail. So he's talking as though he's collaborating. There's the only text explaining the ritual of the cult of Mithras. And it would kill you if you are not initiated. That he didn't answer whether or not he expects to find the golden knife here. Taking all of his secrets with him. I don't. I'm going to explain why I'm making this decision. It is my opinion that the knife was made of ice, not of silver. The blood was diluted by water. I do not believe it was the steam in the steam room that diluted the blood, both in the wound and on the ground. I believe it was the ice melting from the wound, from the weapon, that diluted the blood. I believe the silver in the furnace place was the offering to feeling the dark eye upon them. So I believe the method was the ice knife. Pitkin. I believe Pitkin hoped that the value of the research would increase the bath's renown and popularity. His secret was about to be revealed. Blinkhorn. I believe Blinkhorn was thankful for Mr. Rodney's arrival. He constantly refers to their collaboration as our. He refers to continuing Sir Rodney's project, his exhibition. Like, he refers to it as theirs or his. Even though he was working on it first, he doesn't seem to have any humiliation. He believes it was going well before Sir Rodney came, and after Sir Rodney came, they made some remarkable things. Collaboration. That shows he was thankful for their being able to work together. I believe it's possible Garrow took an interest in this archaeology thing when he learned about the golden knife and the cult of Mithras. I believe he deemed these archaeologists, probably himself also, possibly not, to be unworthy of the golden knife and the curse inscribed on it and the cult of Mithras thing inscribed on it. I believe, possibly due to the medication he is taking, his increased paranoia. Upon learning, he did admit that Sir Rodney had confided something in him. Possibly that he had found the catacombs beneath the Frigidarium. Garrow was afraid that Sir Rodney would take the knife and the curse because he was unworthy. He believed him to be unworthy, so he decided to do as the punishment said for those who are unworthy, to stab him through the eye to death. My only hesitation is I don't know if he's capable of the ice. Creating the ice is an extremely complicated thing. He could have easily cast the silver into the fire as the offering to get the dark eye off of him, but is he capable of creating the ice experiment to create the ice knife that would have melted away? I just want to see what it says. Paranoia. Suffering was too great after Sir Rodney's grand discovery. Garrow lived in the fear that Mistress Curse, so developed heightened feelings of paranoia. He's a psychopath on a deliberate manipulative illness. Send him to a sanatorium for appropriate treatment. He cannot be held responsible for his crime under the strong psychotropic effects of St. John's wort. He may yet be cursed. What if Sir Rodney did bring the champagne in, and the mold itself was used to make a silver knife? Because Garrow said it was sparkling like gold. But gold and silver in the darkness can look similar, they reflect the same way. So what if the wound was watered down by the steam? He created the silver knife out of the mold by pouring molten silver in. And when he was done with it, after stabbing him, he threw it into the fire, not only to dispose of it, but a silver offering to get the dark eye off of him. And the ice and salt downstairs were used to create the ice cream that the doctor, Sir Rodney, had talked about. What if it wasn't an ice knife? Because that's my hesitation, is he capable of the ice experiment? But the silver would have been much easier. The silver would have just taken melting down the coins like he found. He could have used the coins that Sir Rodney gave him, or brought home with him, brought back from his expedition, melted them down to create the knife, which is why it would be shining like gold, and then threw it into the fire. Paused for a second, I was scared it froze. But Blinkhorn, I don't think his morale was lost. It says at a high cost to his morale. I don't think that's true. I think his morale was still high. I think they were still making discoveries, and I think he's excited to get back to it. I don't think he ever lost morale. I don't think he might have had some jealousy, but I think he was excited to work together, and he referred to it as theirs, as ours. I don't believe it's Blinkhorn. And Pitkin doesn't really have a motive for killing Sir Rodney when he brought Sir Rodney in. He could have just fired him instead of killed him. He could have kicked him off the project. I do believe it's Garrow. Whether it's the silver knife or the ice knife, or insanity due to the paranoia, or motive to stop him because he didn't want the curse to go on. The silver knife or the ice knife. Sir Rodney was able to create ice cream and cold ice using the salt that could be used to create an ice knife that would have melted away. Is Garrow capable of using this method? I'm very conflicted. I don't want this video to run too long. I'm sorry. I'll make it into 2 if I need to, but is Garrow capable of creating the ice weapon? Or is the water just from the steam in the sauna? The blood is diluted by water. I don't think this would have been by the steam, but is Garrow capable? The ice knife. The murderer hid the weapon inside the ice bucket with the champagne. After the attack, the knife was left to melt, so causing the excess water in the blood pool. I don't think steam in the room could have caused the water from his wound, because it said he bled profusely from the wound. I don't think a just silver knife would have done that. It would have been a clean stab and bled, but the blood was excess, meaning there was water in the wound. It had to be the ice knife. But is Garrow capable of this extremely sophisticated? This is premeditated. If this is the ice knife, this requires mixing salt and ice and pouring it into the mold and putting it into an ice bucket in the champagne bucket to keep it cold. then bringing it in. That's a lot of complicated steps. That is premeditated. I want to see again what the options were. He killed Sir Rodney in a fit of obsession due to his intense nervous state. The only way to ease his suffering was to perform a ritual killing. He used the ice-made reproduction of the golden knife of Mithras. This is my reasoning for this. I believe the other archaeologist was happy to work with Mr. Rodney. Even if it took some of the credit away from him, he was continuing the research and he wants to continue it afterwards. He refers to it as ours. He doesn't speak negatively, even if he says he was acting strangely. He was happy to work with him and he isn't trying to steal the credit. Seems genuinely distraught, but willing to continue. Pitkin would not benefit from the death of Sir Rodney. Even if he were trying to find the golden knife himself, he could just fire Sir Rodney before he exposed the knife. Garrow, however, does not have to think logically. Because of his obsession, possibly caused by the drugs, partially by his obsession. The silver could have been the offering to get the dark eye off of him if he felt that they were unworthy, and killed Sir Rodney with the knife. But couldn't he use the silver knife? The water could have been diluted by the steam in the room, the steam causing it to leak out. He crafted the silver, which would have been a lot easier to do. You just need molten silver into the mold, which he had the silver coins already given to him by Sir Rodney. He melted the silver coins to make the weapon. This is why it glimmered like gold, like he saw. Stabbed him, threw the knife into the fire, where it melted down into a molten ball, and Sir Rodney bled profusely due to the steam. I want to believe in the ice weapon, but one of these is a red herring. But there's silver in the pit, and there's no other reason why silver would be in the pit. He could have thrown the coins in there as the offering, but there would be no need to. Because he wasn't guilty of anything. He didn't need to get the dark eye off of him unless he was committing the murder to punish Sir Rodney because he had seen what he was unworthy to see. I believe it's Garrow. At this point, I am believing it's Garrow. Whether it's the ice weapon or the silver weapon, I'm not sure. I don't believe a man who is mentally disturbed to the point of paranoia and this desperation is capable of the ice experiment. I don't think he would have been stable enough to do the ice experiment, but he was given silver coins by Sir Rodney. He could have melted the silver down into the blade, used the blade to punish Sir Rodney, and melted down the silver by throwing it into the fire to absolve himself of the dark eye. This is the best thing I have. The game says I have no more clues to find. I have no other clues to find. There is no other option here. It's one of these things. I believe the ice weapon is a red herring. I think the ice could have been used for ice cream. Exactly what was in the picture. The ice could have been used just for ice cream. The champagne could have just been champagne. They even said Sir Rodney. They think Sir Rodney brought it. Sir Rodney could have brought the champagne because he was about to announce him finding the golden knife. Garrow had to stop him from announcing the finding of the golden knife so that they wouldn't take it, and more wouldn't see what they were unworthy to see. He was unworthy to see it, so he had to be killed by the knife, as the ritual states. Stabs him with the knife, throws the silver in to absolve himself of the view of the dark eye, because of his fit of paranoia. I'm sorry if this is not the right choice. But this is what makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense for Pitkin to do it. It doesn't make sense. It could make sense for Blenkhorn to do it for the credit, but he doesn't. He's still, even after death, he's still giving credit to Sir Rodney. He's still cooperating with Sir Rodney. He still speaks as though it's Sir Rodney's project, not his own. Garrow, though, I don't trust Garrow. Just the things he said, talking about, he's the only one who said knife. He's the only one who mentioned a knife. No one else knew what the murder weapon was, not even the police. Garrow knew what the murder weapon was. Garrow has blood on him. Garrow knew about the coins. Garrow says that Sir Rodney confided a secret in him. Garrow could have gone down to the catacombs and seen that the knife was still there and left the lantern, but he didn't go in. He did not take it. Even if he couldn't, he didn't take it. He went down to see if it was still there. He was unworthy to view it unless he viewed himself to be worthy. Or if he views himself to be unworthy, he's so scared of the dark eye, he threw the silver into the fireplace as an offering. Regardless of how you look at it, whether it was the ice or the silver, I believe it was Garrow. I simply believe it was the silver because I don't believe Garrow was capable of the ice experiment, and it doesn't make sense why he would just throw silver into the fire and kill him with ice. Why he would have killed him with ice. Plus, he says it was shining like gold. That's silver. So, I'm going to accuse Mr. Garrow in the baths, sauna, with the silver knife. But I'm going to absolve Garrow by saying I believe it's strong psychotropic effect of St. John's wort. Psychopath. He needs to be put away for life, or he might yet be cured. I believe he might yet be cured. I believe his obsession drew him to do this, but it could be a combination of both his own obsession and the psychotropic effect of the drug. He might yet be cured. Either way, he's still in the sanatorium. He might be able to get treatment. If he gets off of this drug and is able to talk it out and get off of this medication, he might be able to talk, because he already talks. He's already talking. He's already saying things like, oh, the knife, and oh, I saw him, oh, dreadful things, oh, I'm so sorry. He says, I'm so sorry. When he's off of this drug, you might just get a confession. This is the only thing that makes sense to me, and this is the option that I can give that says, this is not what was supposed to happen, but it's what happened because of his state of mind, and I think he can be cured. Please don't be wrong. At least if I'm wrong in the... I don't mean to justify this, but at least if I'm wrong in this case, a man's not gonna die. He's just gonna get help, which he already needs. He already needs help. But at least if I'm wrong, nobody's gonna die. He's just gonna get the help that he needs. Either way, he needed help. I think he did it. But even if I'm wrong, at least a man's getting help and no one's dying. No one has died. Except, the victim. But even if I'm wrong, he's not going to be put to death.
Mr. Garrow, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Watson.
Mr. Garrow, please do not be alarmed. We only wish to help you. You were under an intolerable stress, but it's over now.
What?
I can attest that your medication affected your judgment. You will not recall, but it caused you to temporarily lose control.
Did I? Are you saying I killed Sir Rodney?
I am afraid so. For as my doctor will persist in reminding me every single day, drugs can be harmful. You developed a malevolent obsession with Sir Rodney. You believed him to be unworthy, sacrilegious.
Oh, do not distress yourself. Prison is clearly not a suitable environment for you.
What is my environment, then?
You're suffering from an acute form of melancholia, but you can and will be cured. All you need is rest and detoxification. I will take care of every detail.
Okay. Garrow killed Bencliffe because of his mental state. The only way to ease his suffering was to perform a ritual killing. He melted silver coins. That was my theory, silver coins, to create a silver reproduction of the golden knife of Mithras and threw it into the brazier. Garrow needs a suitable treatment at a mental institution. He cannot be held responsible for his crime as he was under the strong psychotropic effect of St. John's wort. I want to check my conclusion, but I'm not going to spoil the game. I'm going to accept my conclusion. I believe this is right. It even confirms what I said about the silver coins. I believe this is the correct outcome. And even if it isn't, he's going to receive the help that he needs. He clearly is suffering from some kind of mental/chemical illness or addiction. Clearly he needs help anyway. So even if I'm wrong, he's going to get the help that he needs. And if there is a murderer at large, either he'll kill again and be caught, or he won't kill again, and the other guy gets the credit. Regardless, a sick man is getting the help he needs, but I don't think that I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. Personality ranking Hidden Samaritan. 5% of people solved the case the same way, and 61% of people made the same moral choice. Okay, so the majority of people made the same moral choice, but 5% of people solved the case the same way? But I'm a Hidden Samaritan, apparently. Okay. The Abbey Grange affair. Blood and ice. Achievement. Coming up is the Abbey Grange affair. I'll click onto it. There's probably going to be a cutscene. After the cutscene, I'm going to end the video. So here we go.
The game is afoot, not a word. Into your clothes and come. I'll wait for you in the sitting room. I've just received a note from Inspector Lestrade. A letter from the suburbs. He is in need of my presence. Whenever he has asked for my assistance, it has always turned out to be entirely justified. I fancy that every one of his cases has found its way into your collection.
Yes, they all seem worthy of...
However, I regret your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of a scientific exercise.
Oh, Holmes, you...
I beg your pardon, I digress. It would be much better to examine this letter than to try to convince you.
And I'm going to end it there. You'll be able to see the letter in the next video, and we'll be able to see what's going on with Lestrade. So, thank you guys so much for watching.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!